That's
Amazon
a nice
Prime.
box.
And you got a card too. You can open the card up.
Thank you, Laura. Yeah.
Yeah, there's going to be something that kind of falls out.
You're a
like
star.
so.
Grateful
That
for
grass.
you. You make me happy.
What'd you say about my grass?
You made them.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Tea leaves.
Oh, that's cool.
That's really cool. I love the Harley. Wanted to get you a library card, and you have to make that happen. This card is a reminder. Make it happen. Ashley, happiest of birthdays with lots of love, Debbie. 11/17/23. That's a nice card.
It's so cute.
That is such a pretty card. And then Harley. Oh.
that's another card, but your library card will,
Oh yeah, there he is.
no.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Did you get one?
Sorry. It's all about, like, Ashley recently was talking about how she wanted to read more, and she has a bookcase and she's reading more and more. And I found out today that I don't know if Ashley's ever been to a library here, but Lucas said that both of them had not been to the library. So I went to the library today because I
Really?
thought, you know, the best card
that
you can give somebody.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I missed it, sorry.
Nope, keep going.
That's right. But if you make it through, you can find like some little nuggets within there. So you made it through here, and she shared the story recently, and she said, I actually told his story. So she's carrying on the tradition of folklore by telling the story. She told the story, and then the other thing she says in this whole thing is, it's my favorite story. So, very, very nice. Keeping this going. So now I have a story about Ashley that I don't know if you've heard, and if you have, good, because then you'll remember it, and I'll tell it over and over and over again. One Christmas, it's all about like making use of what we have, that we don't have to, we have enough. We just need to look around and use what we've got. So it's Christmas, and Ashley wants to give everybody a present, a lot like Haley. Haley's always away. She's carrying that on, like everybody has to have a present. And Ashley doesn't know how she's gonna do it. So she figures out that she can buy a picture frame, the cheap picture frames, 8.5 by 11, the ones you put diplomas in or whatever. I think they were $1 a piece. So she goes and she gets all these picture frames. And she did the sweetest presents that I'll ever remember. I know mine somewhere because I don't throw anything away. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. But the one that she did for Grandpa that we tried to find today is the most precious one. What she did, I wish you could see it. I think I have a picture of it. So in the middle of what she did was she took a piece of paper. She had a picture of like Grandpa and her. She had a picture of Grandpa and me, and I can't remember how many more she did. But she took a picture of her and Grandpa that was taken of her and Grandpa dancing together at her cousin Mindy's wedding. And then she wrote around it all these things about how special Grandpa was. And that was his Christmas present. And I was so impressed that she like pulled off a Christmas present that was, you know, meant more than anything by using what she had to work with. So that's my folklore story about Ashley. Good. I'm so glad you're here because I want you to hear this incredible story.
It's folklore time. Story time.
Story time. Right.
All ears.
So Ashley, when she wanted to do this potluck birthday, wanted it to be this Taylor Swift folklore. And I know absolutely nothing about Taylor Swift, so I looked up the word folklore. And folklore is the telling of stories, which is a tradition, even in, if you watch The Chosen, that's what Jesus says. That's what we do. We tell stories. But we've got you tell stories within a community. And we had one of the best storytellers in our community, and it was our grandpa, the kid's grandpa, Gary. And, you know, he would tell the same story over and over again, and I'd just like go, oh God, I've got to hear it again. And I realized the reason why I heard it so many times was so I'd remember it. And that's like folklore, is the telling of stories in a community over and over and over again until you go, oh, not again, just so that you remember it. So one of the famous stories about Grandpa, Ashley just recently wrote about on her Facebook.
The rock star story?
The rock star.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was actually there for that when it happened. And Dylan talks about this story a lot. So it's become a folklore among our community about Grandpa. Do you want me to go into what that story's about, or?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Grandpa, I'm in this event at the Ringling Museum, and it's like a big $200 a person thing. And I was part of this group that was doing the entertainment. They had an outside choreographer come in and just put together this choreography for this woman that funded it, that involved like 200 people. So I got to be one of the people in that. And Gary and I kind of weren't together at that time, but we've always been together, even when we're not together. And so he knew it was happening, and he showed up, and I didn't know he was there. And he walks in with his hat on, just looking as handsome as ever, and he has like 24 roses in his arms.
Aww.
And he walks in, and nobody knows who he is. And he just walks into the place like he owns it, and everybody's watching him, like, who is this guy? And actually, the guy that I worked for is the one that let him in. Anyway, so he comes in. All these people are high-end people that pay $200 to be there, and walks Grandpa, just looking as handsome as ever. And he walks over to me and gives me the roses. And then he kind of just mingles, and then he leaves. And everybody wondered who he was. And he said at that time, when he tells that story, he says, you can be whoever you want to be when nobody knows who you are. And that's his story about that event. You can walk in, and if you're confident, you can be whoever you want to be when nobody knows who you are. Is that how it goes, Dylan?
Yeah, he said he felt very underdressed compared to everybody that was there. He felt very underdressed that everybody was there. So he had his long hair and his long beard, and he was like, yeah, because he just walked in confidently. People thought he was a rock star.
Right.
And everybody was asking each other who this guy was. And he's like, yeah, if you walk in confidently enough and nobody knows you, you can be whoever you want to be.
Yeah, and that's interesting. And the next time I tell the story, I'll remember that part, because I was just saying he's handsome as ever. But he looked completely different than everybody that was there.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked like a rock.
Well, he definitely looked like ZZ Top and stuff like that. He could be a guitarist.
Yeah, yeah.
What book is it?
It's called Layla by Colleen Hoover.
You're gonna obsess
So
on
I
someone.
ended up starting it at night.
Oh, I
and
read,
stayed
bro.
up for 6 hours straight until
She
4 o'clock
obsessed
that
on
morning.
like,
And I read
she
the entire book in one night.
and maybe her.
And that morning, I went to bed for like a couple hours, and then we ended up waking up to on Monte. But that was the last day I finished that book list. The day of my house. So I haven't read a book since then. In 3 months, Jill and I were talking about that. I need to start reading,
We're gonna call it
especially since I work so much.
Pits and shit.
Take my mind off of it.
Thank you, Fire.
Smelly pictures.
Is there any specific kind of books you're interested in reading? Because I have all kinds of books about
Because we had
some pretty different subjects.
Have you read Verity by Colleen?
No, different person.
We have something special.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Soraya. Happy birthday to you. She's gonna be 2.
This is the thing to remember. Instead of going to Amazon, go to the library first. It's free.
E-buyers.
I've actually read these
It's a
too.
library. I checked these out of the library.
Much a month. Now you're making this much a month. You know, like they take care of you. It's impressive what they do. And I pushed my brother to stay in the military because he wanted to get out because of where he was. Get on your knees.
Hands underneath. Hands underneath.
We'll put it up here so that's a better view.
Delicious.
This one?
It's not gonna be far enough. It's not gonna be far enough back.
Yeah.
You gotta set that far
Well, we'll
back.
do the 0.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
0.5
let's turn
will
this
be
upside down.
I'm not taking
Oh,
There we go.
Uncle Loogie.
Is Haley in there?
Yep.
We can crop it out.
Everybody.
Okay, as far as I don't have you. I can get, yeah. No, as far as, yeah.
Pull it back.
No, because then it'll be too misconstrued. That's perfect. So that's as far as we can go. That's perfect. So everyone else's has to be inside that. Music is great. Try again.
Come on. How long do we have?
Oh, it's all right, is it going right now?
Oh, yeah, it's a video.
Oh, okay. Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday, Ashley!
I thought we were posing for.
I thought it was a picture too.
That was a good one.
I'll do a screenshot. Yeah, you can screenshot them.
Oh my goodness.
Happy birthday, dear Soraya.
Ashley.
Happy birthday to you. Cha cha cha.
Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah.
My tongue don't do that.
You got it? I mean, I can hold it.
I don't know. It's put in my hand.
I don't know.